Look at this and try not to feel your chest tighten. A video has been exploding across social media, and what you're about to hear isn't just another wrestling story. The Great Khali, the 7-foot giant who once dominated The Undertaker and John Cena, who held the World Heavyweight Championship and made the entire WWE Universe tremble, was recently caught on camera walking to Vince McMahon's iconic theme song. You'd think it would be funny, right? But there was nothing funny about what fans saw. His legs looked like they could snap at any moment. Everyone stopped laughing and started asking, what happened to the Great Khali's legs? What's happening to Khali could have been predicted years ago, and the truth goes far deeper than any WWE storyline. This is about a man who sacrificed everything for this business. If you find value in what we're about to uncover, I'd really appreciate if you'd hit that subscribe button. We're building a community at WrestleCore that honors the full story, even when it's painful. Now let's talk about what's really happening to the Great Khali. Khali's leg problems aren't new. From his 2006 WWE debut, attentive fans noticed his stiff, mechanical movements. He couldn't run, he could barely walk at a normal pace. WWE framed this as his monster character, but the reality was far more serious. Dalip Singh Rana was dealing with acromegaly, a rare disorder where your pituitary gland produces too much growth hormone. His upper body became massive, but his legs couldn't keep up. The same condition that made him a giant created a body fighting against itself. His skeletal structure expanded, but muscle tissue didn't develop proportionally, resulting in those thin, fragile legs that now support hundreds of pounds of upper body mass. Imagine carrying weight your legs were never designed to handle, every single day, while taking bumps in a wrestling ring and hiding your pain behind a character that demands you look invincible. Andre the Giant had the same condition and died at 46 from congestive heart failure after refusing surgery, but Khali tried to do something about it. In 2012, he underwent 4-hour brain surgery at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center to remove the tumor from his pituitary gland. The surgery stopped the progression and potentially saved his life. But here's the cruel reality. You can't undo the damage already done. Khali's body had been developing abnormally for decades. His legs had already formed disproportionately. The muscle atrophy, bone structure, and complications were permanent. The surgery gave him a longer life but couldn't restore his mobility. More than a decade later, we're seeing the long-term consequences. The viral video shows Khali walking with significant difficulty. His upper body is still imposing, but his legs look alarmingly thin, almost stick-like in comparison. Every step seems labored, as if one wrong move could be catastrophic. Wrestling forums exploded discussing muscle atrophy and how his condition causes abnormal growth in certain parts of his legs, resulting in large bones but minimal muscle mass. People started comparing his situation to other wrestlers who've dealt with serious leg injuries, and the consensus was sobering. This looks worse than most realized. Fans noticed WWE always protected him by rarely filming his lower body, shooting entrances from specific angles, and structuring matches so he didn't have to move much.
The chop and vice grip required him to stand still. WWE built an entire presentation around hiding what Khali couldn't, legs barely holding him together. For years, we went along with it because the spectacle was enough. He was the giant, the attraction. But behind the scenes, he was struggling every single day, taking bumps on legs that couldn't properly support his massive frame. People with acromegaly often experience severe joint pain, particularly in weight-bearing areas like the legs and spine. The excess growth hormone doesn't just make things bigger, it makes them weaker. The bones become dense but brittle. Joints wear down faster. For someone who spent years taking bumps in a wrestling ring, the cumulative damage is exponential. Every slam, every fall, every time he took a move, he was accelerating the deterioration of a body that was already compromised from day one. Then there's the psychological toll. Imagine knowing the thing that made you famous is also destroying your body. Imagine looking at naturally tall athletes like Shaquille O'Neal with proportional, healthy bodies that allow them to be athletic and agile, then looking at yourself in the mirror. Khali has spoken about childhood bullying because of his size and appearance. Growing up different with a body that didn't work the way it should left scars no championship belt could fully heal. Yet despite everything, despite the pain, despite knowing what this business was doing to him, he kept going, kept showing up. He did comedy segments as the Punjabi Playboy. He put over younger talent. He came back for Royal Rumble appearances and special events. In 2021, his Hall of Fame induction honored not just his in-ring work, but his representation of Indian wrestling fans worldwide as the first Indian-born World Heavyweight Champion. For millions of people, He was proof that someone who looked like them could make it to the top. When that video went viral, Khali seemed in good spirits, playing along with the Vince McMahon walk, engaging with fans. That's the resilience people develop after real struggles. He's lived with acromegaly his entire life, dealing with the pain, surgeries, and uncertainty. He's still here, still standing. Khali still faces significant health risks. Even after tumor removal, he's at higher risk for diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and vision problems. The condition can affect your heart, joints, and breathing. This requires lifetime monitoring and treatment, not just one surgery. And let's be honest, we benefited from his condition. We bought tickets to see the Giant. WWE made millions off his unique look, which came from a disease destroying him from the inside. That's uncomfortable to confront. It forces us to face where real people sacrifice their health for our entertainment. I'm not saying WWE or fans are villains, but we need to acknowledge reality. Khali's legs show years of a body pushed beyond its limits. Behind every larger-than-life character is a real person with struggles that don't end when cameras stop rolling. The good news? Khali has support. He runs a wrestling school in India, makes appearances, stays connected to the business. He's managing his condition as best he can. At 52, he's defied expectations. Doctors thought Andre wouldn't see 40. That's extraordinary, but we can't pretend everything's fine. His legs are barely holding on.
The muscle atrophy is visible. While he stays positive, every day is probably a challenge most of us can't imagine. So what do? We start by showing up. We support Khali and celebrate his legacy, not just for memorable ring moments, but for the courage it took to step in that ring at all. We share his story so younger fans understand the full picture, the real cost of the spectacle. And maybe we push for better health care and long-term care for performers who give us so much. The Great Khali's legs are failing him. That's the brutal truth. But the Great Khali himself? He's still standing. He's still smiling. He's still here. And that's a victory worth celebrating. If this moved you, hit that like button and drop a comment. Let's keep this conversation going, because these stories matter. These people matter. Subscribe if you haven't, because we're telling the whole story at WrestleCore, not just the comfortable parts. Thank you for watching, and remember to appreciate the sacrifices made by those who entertained us. They gave us their bodies, their health, their futures. The least we can do is honor their truth.